Hi friends, I'm Angie. This is the Tiny House Stitcher, my floss tube, and this is Sophie. I want to thank you all for coming. Welcome or welcome back. Thrilled to have you here. It's been quite a week for me. Work has been insane. I work for a nonprofit, and some of the things that we have to do are community events. And last Friday we did a State of the City luncheon for 150 people. And then today we had, are you stopping to smell the flowers? Today we had a formal dinner gala. So it's been a crazy week. So I came home, peeled off the Spanx, threw on a t-shirt, and decided I needed to spend some time with my peeps. So here I am. Thanks for coming. You guys, I can't believe it. I have almost 3,000 subscribers. I only have 2 videos. This is my 3rd video. Today is April the 1st, Friday. I keep looking at it to see if I'm like looking at it wrong. This can't be. 3,000 people are watching me? I don't get it, but thank you. Thank you so much. I've gotten the most wonderful comments from all over the world. You've all been so nice about my little tiny house picture tour in the last video. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support and your kind words so much. And I promise, as soon as I can, as soon as I'm comfortable, I will do a tour. The craft room, the loft is just a nightmare right now. So I really need to spend some time up there before I show you that. I'm sure you understand. So anyway, thank you so much. A lot of the comments I got were about Miss Sophie. She seems to be the star of the show, and rightly so. So she sends her love to you all. Thank you. Bags. I talked about my bags in the last Flosstube, and you guys are amazing. Wiped me out. I have a few left, but not many. So thank you. That money is going toward my StitchCon trip. I'm going to StitchCon. It's my first retreat, and I'm going to weekend A, and I'm so excited. So if you're going, let me know. And come say hi. I can't believe I'm going, and I'm so excited. So that money is going in my StitchCon jar. Yay. So a few shout outs I wanted to do. Some of the other Flosstubers have been amazing in shouting me out on their Flosstube channels, and thank you all so much for letting me know where you heard about me. And I hope you'll continue to do that if you hear about me on Flosstube or Instagram or wherever. If you could let me know so that I can thank them personally, I would sure appreciate it. So Chrissy with Finally a Farm Girl. Oh my gosh, Chrissy, love you, girl. I love your new patterns. Love. Thank you so much. Tanya of the Starlit Stitcher. Tanya, thank you so much. Brenda in the Cereal Starter. Oh, I mean, guys, these are some of my favorites. I can't believe it. Olivia at Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. Olivia is the reason I stitched Olga's stocking, and I was so in love with her Anniversaries of the Heart and the way she told the stories of her family. So Olivia, thank you so much. Candy at the 614 Stitcher. Candy, thank you so much. Joe of the Absent Minded Stitchers. Thank you, Joe. And I will link all of those folks in the comment box below. So go check them out. And I encourage you all, there's so many new Flosstubers coming out. Do a search on YouTube for Flosstube #1 and just visit some of the new folks out there. They're so talented. It's such a joy to see new folks joining in, jumping in the pool. So thank you. I had a nice chat with my new friend, Michelle Hudson of Sacramento, California. She's in my neck of the woods. Michelle, thank you for reaching out, and I so enjoyed our little chat. That was great. Hi, Michelle. And I got some questions. I got lots of questions both about cross stitch and about the house. I will save the house questions for later in case someone's not interested in that. So the first question was where I got the honeycomb fabric that I bought for the Hive Rules. It looks like this. Come on, there we go. So I'm going to use that for Hive Rules, which is this one. But the first piece I got wasn't big enough. So this one is called, it's 28 count Berkshire Hive even weave fabric from Fabric Flair, and I got it at 123 Stitch. It wasn't big enough, so I went back to 123 Stitch, and they didn't have a piece big enough. They didn't have a piece big enough. So I must have gotten the biggest piece they had at the time. So I searched around on Etsy and I found another piece. So I cannot remember where I got this, but I will put that down in the comment box below as well. So I'm looking forward to starting that one now that I have my fabric. It's all kitted now. Next question. Some folks wanted to see my quilts and my wool applique, and there's really not a lot, but I will show those at the end of this video. So if people aren't interested in that, they can move on as well. One person asked me if I could recommend any tips or tricks for getting started in cross stitch. And first of all, if you're out there, welcome to cross stitch. You're in trouble, girl. I told her to check out the Fat Quarter Shop's Flosstube. They have a series called Cross Stitch University, and they go step by step through a lot of the things. They had a pattern, I think. I'm not sure if it's free or not. I really didn't watch it too much. But even if you don't get the pattern that they provided, you're still going to get a great deal out of it. It's very easy to follow step by step. So I encourage anybody out there that's thinking about starting cross stitch or is just brand new starting, go check that out. I showed in my last Flosstube this finish, which is Playing with Jacks by the Cricket Collection. And this middle pumpkin is an alternate pumpkin. The one that came with the pattern is more of a jack-o'-lantern, like a Halloween pumpkin. And I was able to find this alternate pattern on Cricket Collection's website, but they don't have it on their website anymore. So I found the email and I emailed her, and she said she would be happy to send that alternate pumpkin pattern to anyone that was interested. And so I will put the email address below. She is traveling, so she won't be able to get those sent out until after the 5th of April. But she said if anybody wants it, just email her. So I will put that down below. And another great question. Somebody asked, with a tiny house, where do I plan to put all my stitches? And that's a great question. I have some little, like this little basket. I noticed this one was cockeyed. I have that little tray. I can put some things in. Ouch! I found the needle I lost earlier. As far as wall space goes, you're right. I don't have a whole lot of wall space. I do have this big wall back here, but I've been kind of saving that for a quilt. But at this point, God knows when I'm going to get the quilt done. So I'll show you that later. I also have a couple of spaces high up on my wall here on either side of my little fancy window that I have. And I also have a full wall in my bedroom and some wall space going up the stairs to the loft. So I've got quite a bit. I'm not in any danger of running out anytime soon. I've only been back to cross stitching about 1.5 years now. So, and most of what I've done, well, I'd say about half of what I've done have been gifts so far. So, and I've got 3 gifts here in my 4 whips. So I don't see that happening anytime soon. But that's a great question. And I've wondered that myself. You know, I was listening to the Fox and Rabbit, and they were talking about Brenda's house, of Brenda and the cereal starter, and how there's not a square inch of her wall space that's not covered. And that's my dream. I can imagine it must be like a museum. And I'd love to do that, but we'll see. It's going to get pretty crowded in here pretty quickly, I think. We'll see. So a couple of questions about how I stitch. So I kind of wanted to go over that a little bit. I am an in-hand stitcher, and 40 count is my favorite. I haven't tried 47 yet, so that's on the list. I think I have 2 kitted that have 46 count 46 count, so we'll try that, but I'm not sure. I have a whip that's 56 count and I'm loving it, but I don't think it's going to be something that I do regularly. I'll be lucky to get through the 5 pieces in the series that I have. It's so much fun, and when they're done, they're just adorable, teeny tiny little. They're so cute, but I don't think it's something that I'll do regularly. But 46, we'll see. I don't know yet. I do use a small hoop when I do over 1 stitches, and I found this Duchess hoop in an antique store. If you don't know about Duchess hoops, they don't make them anymore. Here's what the label looks like, Duchess, and they have felt on the inside ring. So there's no tightening, no nothing. They just hold so tight and they're so perfect, and I love them so much, so I'm constantly on the lookout for them. They're very expensive on eBay, but if you're lucky enough to find one in a secondhand store or an antique store, grab it. They're amazing. They're amazing. So I use those for 1 over 1. I'm kind of an old school stitcher, I guess, in that I make working copies of all of my charts. I prefer printed charts. I make a working copy, I blow it up, I tape it together, and I fold it up. And I bought these transparent little clipboards. So I fold them up, and I'm trying to see if one of my whips has one that I can show you. I put the pattern on one side and I put the color key on the other side, and I can see them both. So here's for Let Freedom Ring. This is the color key on one side, and of course I've got my pattern on the other. And I highlight what I've completed. And I also switch the color of highlight each day I stitch on it, which is, I know it's kind of silly, but it's kind of fun to see, oh, I did that much on that day, and then I changed colors. I can see I did that much on the next day. I don't count them, you know, per day, but it's kind of fun to see. And it's colorful. So I do that. Let's see. Whoa. I wear glasses, and I saw this on Country Stitchers. These are clip-on magnifiers. You've probably seen them. They clip like this. And I like this brand. I don't have any glasses near me. I like this brand the most because they sit on your glasses frame goes up to this bar. So there's all that space right there where you can look above the magnifier if you're looking at the TV, or if you need to see the chart farther away, then the magnifier will allow you to see. And of course they flip up, so you can just move them out of the way. So I've tried a lot of brands. Most of them are full, like they cover the whole glasses area. And I like these better because I can see down low, I can see up high with my regular glasses prescription. So these are called Magna Clips. They come with this little case, and I found them on Amazon. These are 3.5s, 3.5. But, oh, I took my stitching with me to the eye doctor the other day. And I said, please, eye doctor, can you help me so that I don't have to wear these things anymore? And she said, sure, we can help you. And so she made me a prescription for, like, I sat there with my stitching where I normally hold it, and she tested my eyes and said, well, is this better? Is this better? So she gave me a prescription for progressives that will be the magnifying power I need to stitch. The middle will be the power I need to see my chart, and the top will be the distance so I can still watch Flosstube. So I'm excited about that. I haven't gone and ordered my glasses yet, but I'm gonna do some really funky ones for sitting at home and stitching, and I'm gonna have some fun with it. So if you have a doctor's appointment coming soon, take your stitching with you. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I think that's about it. 40 count, I usually do 1/2. 36 count, I kind of just depends on the fabric. Sometimes I do 1/2, and sometimes I do 2/2. And in the case of Olga, I do both. Sometimes I do some things with 1 and some things with 2, just to kind of mix it up a little. So I think that's it about my stitching. That's all I can think of. I stitch in hand. I said I stitch in hand, but I use the sewing method. And I've gotten pretty quick, I guess. And I have a full-time job, so I generally stitch after dinner to when I go to bed at night. And I am a night owl, so I usually go to bed 11 or 12. So I get quite a few hours in each night, which is nice. It makes me calm down after the day, you know, all that good stuff. So if you have any other questions for me about my stitching, please let me know. I don't know if there's anything too interesting there, but okay, so my whips. I tend to stitch on my projects 3 or 4 days at a time at least, sometimes 5. I liked, once I get going and invested in it, I will stitch on it until I get bored with it, and then I'll move on to something else. So I'm sort of semi-monogamous, I guess, which is probably why I don't have a whole lot of whips. I don't know. But my whips, I've worked on 4 things since the last time we talked. And my first one is, I mentioned that I am a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and I like to do projects for them to use for fundraising for silent auctions. So this one I found on Etsy. It's the Daughters of the American Revolution. And it's by the Victorian Motto Sampler Shop. So I'm stitching this one on 40 count Old Massachusetts. I picked my own colors. There are only 3 colors. I changed it to blue because the new logo is blue. And then I chose 2 greens. I chose Weeks Bayberry and Secret Garden for the greens. The blue is Twilight. And I'm so close on this one, but I ran out of Twilight. And I didn't want to do the vines in this area until I got the letters in, because if I screw up, it's much easier to tweak the vines than it is the letters. So that's almost done. I need to have it done and turned in by the 15th of April. So this will be high on the whip list again in the coming weeks. My next one is, When Life is Done by Silver Creek Samplers. And this says, I love you just as much today as when you died and flew away. I'll not be sad nor shed a tear. Your memories will linger near. We'll meet again when life is done and soar away beyond the sun. So I'll let you look at that again. I changed it quite a bit. I changed the color of the dress to purple because that was also my dad's favorite color. This will be for my mom. I changed this little cardinal to a dragonfly, and I changed the hair to short gray hair. So I'll show you that. This is being stitched on 32 count Belfast by Picture This Plus in the color Jazz. Sorry, I have a big wrinkle. So you can see the dragonfly, the dress is purple. I still have to put in her feet, her arms. She's holding a couple of flowers that I need to finish. And this is a Mother's Day gift from my mama. And I've told her she can't watch my Flosstubes until Mother's Day, so hopefully I'll get this done. So that's that one. And I'm using all of the called for colors except for the purples. I changed the blues to purples, but everything else is called for. It's all DMC. And I always use my amazing floss drops from all of you amazing people out there. I love these. I mix them up so that I have a different one every time I pick them up. And I'm slowly but surely transferring everything over to my floss drops. I love them. Okay, so that's When Life is Done. The next one is this funny one for my sister. And shoot, somebody, oh, I got this pattern from Demented Stitches on Etsy. I really like it. It's so cute. This is perfect for my sister, and I'm really excited about getting it to her. So this is being stitched on 28 count vintage country mocha. 28 count vintage country mocha. And I did change the colors to this teal and dark red because those are my sister's colors. And I just did, I think all I did was finish this word and no. I'm hoping to give this one to her for Mother's Day too. So hopefully I'll have 2 done. Those 2 are both very close. And really, Daughters of the American Revolution is pretty close too, so. Okay, get on the ball, Ange. Okay, this is Let Freedom Ring by Leela Studio. This is my 4th and final whip for the last 2 weeks. And I'm kind of doing a sal, and these are the months. So you can see this little section right here was January, this was February, and then this is March. And last I saw you, I had just started the very tips of the trees. This is being stitched on 40 count Newcastle from a company on Etsy called We Will Die For You, DYE. And the color of the fabric is 1086. And this was my New Year, New Start. And this is my progress. So I finished that whole wing. And I'm thrilled with it. It looks so pretty. Excited. It's such a pretty. This is all over 1. The writing is all over 1, just so you know. And any writing on it is over 1. So that's Let Freedom Ring. I got March done in March. I'm very happy about that. And I'll show you this bag because someone said I need to show my bags more often. So here's my bag. The back has the text. Yeah, so I had no finishes these last 2 weeks. I got very close, but no finishes. And my haul is next. So my haul, I mentioned the hive fabric that I had to go get, so I got that. And then I got, I'm so excited. I love this pattern. Let me see if I can find the full picture for you. Oh, this picture, I mean, this sampler is just gorgeous. Isn't that amazing? Even just this, I'm gonna do the whole thing, but even just this would be what a drum that would make. Oh, just gorgeous. She is so talented. This is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. And this book has 3 different patterns in it. I love this one too. I love the sentiment. So I might do that one eventually too. It says, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. Isn't that the truth? And then there's this too. So I love, love, love this book. And I knew it was coming during I had ordered it before my last Flosstube. And so I had put in a couple of orders for fabrics. And you guys, I don't know about you, but does it seem like the fabric supply is just getting worse and worse? And I'm not complaining. I know these dyers are doing the very best they can. I'm just really struggling. So I ordered a couple online, and you probably know, you never know what you're going to get when you look at something online. Like this one, I thought was gray. Clearly not gray. This is Jack Frost by Seraphim. And it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, I'm complaining, but I'm not really complaining. I will use this eventually. But it's not what I wanted for this pattern. And, it takes a while to get stuff. And then this one's a little better. It's still not exactly what I had hoped for. It's called Brown Sugar. And I don't know if you can... Brown Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. I don't know if you can tell, but there's an awful lot of green in there. That's all green. All these blotches. I don't know if you can tell. Green. Like really green. So that's not what I really wanted for it. And really, I was looking at it and I was thinking, that looks an awful lot like something I already have. And I pulled out Fiber on a Whim's Hazelwood and greens. Very similar. So this is the Hazelwood and this is the Brown Sugar. So again, I will use it. Absolutely. It's a beautiful fabric. It's just, it's hard to tell what you're ordering. You can't really tell. I love the ones that tell you what the colors are. Like some of them will have a description that says brown with green modeling or olive modeling, or the ones that show you the DMC colors. Love that. That's huge. And for me, I don't have a nearby LNS. And the one I do have doesn't even carry, I think the highest count they carry is a 32, which is not, that's not really my thing, which is great for people who do. I mean, wonderful, but I have no options but to order online, and I can't tell what I'm ordering, so I'm spending all this money. So anyway, I can't start Let Love Rain yet because I don't have a fabric that speaks to me. So it is all kitted otherwise. I have all the floss. I am thinking about changing some of those blues, some of the blues to purples, because I'm a purple girl, as you know. But it's so beautiful, I don't know if I want to mess with it. I don't know. I'm really struggling with that one. We'll see what happens. So that was that. And then after Olga, I showed you my Olga finish last Flosstube. I really love the stockings for use other than Christmas. I think it's great. I have a pattern called Betsy's stockings, which are patriotic stockings, little ones that I want to do. And then I found this and I thought, oh, that's an everyday. Look how cute. And these are bigger ones. The count on this is 172 by 447. So it's a big, it's probably the size of Olga, about the size of Olga. So I'm excited, and you guys know I'm going to switch up those colors and put some purples in there to go with my house. But how pretty is that? I could leave that up all year long. It's just gorgeous. And this is the same stocking, just in different colorways on the cover. So Quaker Stocking by Carriage House Samplings. So pretty. Got that. And then I went a little crazy on the D-stash. I'm really happy about it, but probably shouldn't have. So I got this one. And I love this one. Now, I have 3 others for the other seasons, but these are all by Plum Street. But these other ones are all Hello. They're all Hello Summer. I've had these for a while. Hello Fall. And Hello Winter. And I found a wooden piece at Hobby Lobby that I want to put these on. So the Hello Spring was a rabbit. And it's one of her skinny rabbits, I think. And I don't know, I wasn't really all that happy with it. So some of these, Plum Street has a few of these that are like goodbye fall, or fall is over, or something like that. They're like goodbye to the season. So they had those too. And I think this is one of those. Spring has sprung. But it's almost exactly the same size. It's only 2 stitches off one side and 3 stitches off the other. So I think it'll fit in that same wooden piece. And it's so cute. I like this one better. So these are the 4 that I'm gonna do for my seasons when I get to them. But I love them. I wanna do them all. I wanna do them all right now. You all know how that goes. I got this one because last time when I was showing you all my finishes, I have a lot of smalls that are seasonal, but I don't have a whole lot that I can leave out all year long. So I really want to do a few more smalls. I think it would be nice to have some wins when I'm working on these larger projects too. So I got this one too. I should tell you what these are. Stitching Bird by Heart and Hand. This one was Needle and Thread by Heart and Hand. Mice in the Sewing Room. Brenda Gervais. I love Brenda Gervais. So cute. Antique Scissors and Spools by Shakespeare's Peddler. I also ordered the Keys one. I love the Keys one too. She's got, I think, 5 of these. She just released a new one that have different, there's scissors, keys, and I can't remember the other ones. Sorry. This one is Plum Street Cereal Bowl Collection, Lesson 4. And I love that sentiment. It says, be you to others kind and true as you would have others be to you. So cute. And then we have Spring Scissor Sampler by Nikki's Creations. So cute. I don't think I'll do it on the gingham, but I love that. And then this I got, my best friend lives in Texas. And so I thought this would be perfect for her. It's Friendship Sampler by Little Dove Designs. It says side by side or miles apart. Good friends are always close to your heart. Cute. So those were all on D-Stash. And I think that's it for my haul. So before I move on to the house questions and the quilting, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Mania. So Mania is coming up, and for those of you who don't know what it is, I don't know if I can really explain it. Mania is another one of these events, kind of like March Madness just passed, that's in the cross-stitch community. And some people use it to do a new start every single day in May, which I tried last year and just about lost my mind. I was going to have a nervous breakdown. It was awful. It was fun, but I just couldn't maintain it. I couldn't, I just couldn't. So I stopped it about maybe 10 days in. Oh, I have my board. I'll show you my board. Here's my board. And since then, I've gone through and kind of pulled off the stuff that's finished. I can pull a Olga. But that was the start, and at the time, I didn't even have enough pieces to start something new every day. So Olga's here too. Olga's here a few times. And then I ran out and I just gave myself a free day. So some people do these, and I can't remember, it was a brilliant idea. I can't remember who came up with it, but there was a lady who did this, and what she did was she kept the projects on the same days. She kept them on the board until they were finished. So like I could pull off Olga's stocking and put a new one on there. And so all these other things that I had on here, I've finished since then. And I even have some of my wool projects on here. So I'm curious, have you done Mania? Would you like to do Mania? Do you not want to do Mania? If you've done it, how do you do it? So I'm curious, and I would love to hear from folks. And then on my next Flosstube, it'll still be before May, then I'll share with you what the responses were, and maybe we can find a new way to do it that's not so scary, because that one was scary. And I know people are out there. Who is it that's doing 222 new starts this year? And someone's doing 40 new starts for her 40th birthday. I can't remember who it is. I should know that one. Sorry, I'll put it down below if I think of it. That's insane. I am in complete awe. I wish I could do that. I would love to do that, but I can't. Doesn't work for me. It freaks me out. So I'm curious to hear that. So that's going to be the raffle question. Mania. What are your thoughts on Mania? Love it, hate it, tried it. Here's a great idea. That's the best. I want to hear that. I want to hear ideas. So shoot me your answers, and I will show you the raffle prizes. So the first one is going to be this piece of 28 count Berkshire Hive even weave fabric. This piece is 17 by 19. So if you're doing Hive Rules, it will not fit because Hive Rules is 19 inches long. So you would have no border whatsoever on it. So, but there are Primrose Cottages came out with a whole bunch of bee patterns this year. So I thought you could use, and I'll have plenty left over on my other piece to use for some of those as well. So this is way more than I need. So this is number one. If you are interested in the Fabric Flare 28 count Berkshire Hive even weave 17 by 19 inches, number one. Okay. Number two is Project Quarantine. Here's my finish I showed last time. So cute. This one's done on 40 count. If you're interested in this one, it's number two, Project Quarantine. Number three was another finish I showed last Flosstube. This is October's Party. This is number three. It says, October gave a party, the leaves by hundreds came, the chestnuts, oaks, and maples, and leaves of every name. The sunshine spread a carpet, and everything was grand. Miss Weather led the dancing, Professor Wind the band. I had so much fun with this. It stitched up pretty quick too. So that's number three. Number four, Olga's Autumn Stocking. I showed you my finish on this one last Flosstube. It is beautiful and so much fun to stitch. Love it. There's Olga. I love that little tree with the leaves. That came out so pretty. But I will say, if you're going to outline the white stars, if you're going to backstitch them, don't use black. You might use like an off gray or maybe even a brown color. I think would work probably better, but I think that the black on mine was too stark. It was, and you've all been so nice about it. And depending on what fabric you use, if you use a darker fabric, you're not going to need to backstitch it at all. So that's number 4. And number 5, I mentioned that you guys wiped me out in bags, but I still have this big one in the shop. I think I have one more of this size, and I have some smaller ones. So this, if you're an Office fan, here's one of my bags. The Office, and I think these are 13.5 square. So they should hold an 11 by 11 Q-snap just fine. They have, this is, I believe, 20-pound vinyl. I use the good stuff. So this is number 5. So if you could answer my question about your thoughts on Mania and put in whatever number that you would like, that you're interested in of the prizes. Please make sure that you are 18 years old so I can ask you for your address. Please do not use the word giveaway or win or prize or anything related to a giveaway so that we can keep the trolls at bay. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I will be checking that because this is a celebration for over 2,000 subscribers, almost 3,000, if I'm right. If I'm not right, I'm making a total fool of myself, but I think I'm right. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed that. So next thing, for those of you who are not interested whatsoever in quilting or hearing about the tiny house, that's totally fine. I get it. Now's a good time to say goodbye, and we will see you next time. And for those of you who are interested in information about the tiny house or questions that were answered and to see my quilting and my wool applique, now's the time. Okay, so the first question that was asked a lot was, where do I live? I live in Central California. I'm about 15 miles from Sacramento. So housing prices are extremely high here. And I mean, it's not a problem for me. So I will say that. How's the water and waste lines handled? Do you have to move only in neighborhoods where tiny houses are that have hookups are readily available? So in California, at least in my area, we are not permitted to put a house on another person's property. Like, there's rules and regulations, and I would have to purchase land and have sewer and electricity run on the land, which doing that here in California is extremely expensive and just completely out of my price range. There are no tiny house communities here. In fact, in my city, when you mention tiny houses, they immediately think of homeless. So they're working really hard with, I think it's FEMA, to develop tiny houses to house homeless folks or people experiencing homelessness, I'm sorry. Which is a great idea, but it's not the same thing as what I live in. So my only option is to have my house in a mobile home park, which is not ideal. It's not what I wanted, but again, when I'm ready, I can pick up and move my house whenever I want to. So when I retire, my hope is to move up the coast to Oregon, Washington. I'm a rainy day girl. I love the winter and fall. So I think that would be perfect for me. Even better if I could find a spot on the coast. Oh, just a dream come true. Anyway, so I am in a mobile home park right now. That said, rarely do you find spots open in mobile home parks, because when people have a mobile home, it's a little different than a tiny house. They don't pick it up and leave. They sell it where it is and someone else moves in. So there's rarely open spots I got really lucky because my park was transitioning, and it's really kind of odd. It had some RVs that were here in the park that had been here for years and years, like 20 years, and people were living in RVs, and which is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. But it was a weird kind of mix of RVs and mobile homes. And so as people are leaving with the RVs, they're no longer allowing RVs in. So there are some spots opening up. And that's really rare. It's a rare situation. So I got really lucky. It was the only way I could have done it, because I can't put it anywhere else here. And I've been at my job for almost 15 years. So I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I still have to work another 13, 15 years easy. So I had to do what I had to do. And this is a great community. Everybody's wonderful. I feel very safe. Everybody's just great. So I really lucked out being here. So that is the answer to that question, with one caveat. There are options in tiny houses for water storage and composting toilets and solar electricity. So it can be done. It's not the way I wanted to live. I knew that transitioning to a very small home would be a big transition on its own, and I didn't want to do more than I was comfortable with because I wanted to love it. So those things were just a bit much for me. I have great respect for people who can do all that, because I just need my running water and my toilet, flushable toilet. So anyway, but there are options. There are lots of options. And if you've seen any of those tiny home shows, you've seen the options. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted to live as I normally have, with the conveniences that I normally have, but I wanted to reduce my footprint. I wanted to reduce the stuff, I just wanted to have less to clean, less to store. I wanted a place to just kind of a cozy place that I didn't have to worry about. And that's where I am. I have a new home that's very well built, that is just a perfect size for me and Sophie. So anyway, if you have any more questions about that, let me know. Someone asked if there's a website where you can look at them. All I did was Google tiny home builder in my area. And a lot of them have catalogs on their websites where you can look at the basic house layouts, the floor plans, and you can take those floor plans and change them however you want. I mean, at least in my case, that's how I did it. So they give you a basic kind of, this is the idea of this model. You can, you can tweak it a little bit, or you can choose this model or this one if this, whatever. And there was another question about if I could share how much I spent for the house, but I'm not going to do that because I live in California, and I bought the house when during COVID, when supplies were very short and lumber was very high, and for me to tell you that might scare somebody, or might be like, wow, she got a deal. There's just no way. You have to look in your area and talk to your builders and decide what you want in your home. There are a lot of things that I added that increased the price. There are a lot of things that I took out. So it just all depends. So I do encourage you to go online and look for a tiny house builder. They're all over the place. This is a thing now. So they're everywhere. They're easy to find. So if you have any more questions or want more detail, if you want to email me, I'll be happy to talk with you further, but I'm not going to do it here. I'm sure you understand. And then someone asked how my kids feel about my house and can I have them over for dinner? And yes, they are thrilled and they love it as much as I do. And those collapsible tables I mentioned are a godsend. I don't have a kitchen table in my house. There's no room for it. I do have those of you who are my age or older may remember the old TV trays. I have a modern version that's about twice the size, and it's wood, and it's really beautiful, but it's collapsible, so that's what I use to eat at. And then I have other chairs, and I have a couple of ottomans that people can sit on. And so I have room for, I mean, not a big party, obviously. But yeah, my kids come over, and my kids usually come over and make me dinner, which is even better. They're amazing. So yes, I can have people over for dinner, and that's a good question. Absolutely. Okay, so I think that's it for the house questions. And now I want to show you some of my quilts. I've been quilting off and on for about 25 years, since my first child was just about 1. Many of my quilts, in fact, almost all of my quilts have been gifts. So I don't have them. I have one that I didn't pull out. Maybe I'll pull it out another time, that I made with my daughter when she was 8 years old. We did a mommy and me quilt. So I have that one. It's just a little lap quilt, and it's purple and pink. So I have that one. And then I have a couple pictures. These are not great pictures, so if I can find the real pictures, I will insert them. This is a quilt that I made for my dad, and this is a picture quilt. And my dad loved Corvettes, so in the middle of those stars are Corvettes, and then some pictures. And this still hangs on the wall. That was for my dad. And this one was for my mom. And I don't know if you can see, all those little stars have pictures in them. And the border at the top, all the way down. So yeah, that one was a big project, and I did that for my mom. Ooh, Christmas, probably about, oh gosh, 15 years ago? It's been a long time. So those are a couple of them. Most of the ones that I've done are not picture quilts, but these were 2 big projects, and they're still in my mom's house, so they were easy to take pictures of. I've made a couple for my sister and a couple of my nephews. I haven't done anything in a really long time. So I started one probably about 3 years ago, and I haven't gotten very far, but this is called Twinkling Stars Purple Quilt Kit. And here it is. This has been, yeah, this is a long time ago, by Monique Dillard. A kit from Craftsy. And I have everything cut up in these trays. I'm trying to find if I have a block that's kind of partially done so you can see. Well, I have the tops of several of the blocks. So these are the fabrics that I'm using. So you can see it's been a while, and I haven't done much with them in a long time. That one I kind of got away from. So, sorry, that was one. And then this one I just bought last fall, and I just loved it. I saw it on Stitch All the Things. She showed it, and I loved it. Oh my goodness, ooh, that's blown out. There we go. Pattern basket. It's called Hocus Pocus. And I love the pumpkins. And I wanted these colors. So I went on Fat Quarter Shop, and I found, I got a couple of the charm packs. Are these, is that the right size? Charm packs. And I got a Jolly Bar, which is 5 by 10. And so these are really layer cake friendly. I think I had a layer cake too. I can't remember what it calls for. But anyway, the Pattern Basket by Margot Languedoc Designs. Hocus Pocus. Patternbasket.com. I love it. I got this last fall, so I don't know if it's still out there. I don't know if the fabric's still out there. The fabric is Fig Tree and Company Pumpkin Blossoms by Moda. Love the fabrics. So I am planning to finish that. Hopefully, I mean, finish. I don't even want to say that. Who knows? I'd like to get that done, but I think this fall's a little ambitious, seeing as how my purple one's taken me 3 years. So we'll see. Maybe fall next year. We'll see. Okay, so that's it for my quilting. It's not much, I know, but the wool applique, some of them can be considered quilts too. So I'm going to get into that real quick. I don't have a whole lot of that either, but this is what I was doing when Cross Stitch found me again. So I'm just going to show you a couple of, well, first I wanted to mention WhipGo, because this, one of these pieces is on my WhipGo. So here's my WhipGo board. And the numbers that were called are 7, which is a wool piece, and 10. So 10 is Olga stocking. And I had Olga stocking on here twice. Here. And so what I did was I left one alone just to kind of, as a gimme. You know, I finished that ahead of time, so I'm just going to leave it there. But then the other one, I didn't want to leave them both because I felt like that was cheating. So I changed this one to Let Love Rain because I know I'll be still stitching it. So that's what I did there. And I do, like I said, I have a wool piece here and here, which I'll show you both of those. So that's my WhipGo board. So this month I only have this, which is quite a relief because last month was crazy with March Madness, WhipGo, Common Threaded Stitcher, and trying to get these 3 pieces done, the 2 gifts and the auction item. So it's nice to give myself a little break. So the piece that's on my WhipGo board is called Chalk It Up February Design. And it says, sorry for the glare, this is My Happy Place with the little sewing machine. And I buy these from Buttermilk Basin, and these are kits. And I really strongly encourage you, if you're just starting wool applique, it's a great way to build up your stash. And ones like this that have, this has a quilted border around it. I think you can see that. Everything's included. The wool's included. Well, I shouldn't say everything. The wool's included. The fabric is included to make the border. You have to, you know, if you're going to use fusible, which I do use fusible, you have to provide that if you want a different background, whatever it may be. But these are a great way to get started and to build your wool stash because you're not going to use all the wool that they give you. And so it's a nice way to kind of collect some scraps for future projects if you want. So I will be working on this one. I'll show you where it is now. I'll be working on this month. And this might have some dog hairs on it. I'm sorry. This is My Happy Place. So you can see I've done buttonhole stitch around these. And that's really all it is. It's really easy to do. Buttonhole stitch. I also did some embroidery on this little spool. And I've gone around the sewing machine and I used a variegated so you can see it's changing color all the way around. So I still have a lot to do. I think I've already done place. Gotten that done. So I have a lot to do. And I tend to, you don't have to at all, but I tend to whip stitch them down, the pieces down, and then go back and embroider, whether it be buttonhole stitch or whatever else, after that. So I think that'd make a cute pillow for the couch, maybe. We'll see. So I'll be working on that this month. And I have one here that is partially finished, and I'm very proud of this one. This one is called Handwork Mends My Soul. And this one is done except for the final quilting. Here's the whole thing. And I do have some basting stitches in it, so if you see those are just basting stitches. They're not going to be there forever. So I've done some embroidery in this piece. Quite a bit of embroidery. I hope you can see that because I can't see what you're saying. And then I made, it gives you the writing to trace, but I used my own writing and traced that. Some French knots, some more embroidery. Yeah, so that's that one, and I know exactly where that's gonna go. I have a little shelf that's about this size that I'm gonna hang this underneath up high on my wall. So I love this one. This was one of my first pieces and my first embroidery stitches, and I had bought a book of embroidery stitches, and I just played. I just kind of tried them, and some of them worked and some of them didn't, and I'll show you one of those. So I pulled those out, but really it's kind of fun, and if you find one you really like, then use that. And there's nothing saying that you have to put embroidery stitches in it either. You could just buttonhole the pieces down and be done with it. I mean, they're so cute. So this next one, I thought I'm gonna have to insert a picture of it. So I'll insert a picture of the full quilt. And this one I started, probably 2 years ago or so. And so I'm working on block number 5. So here's block number 1. I'll hold it back first. This is the first block. And you can see some of the embroidery. They're really simple. I know it looks scary, but it's really not. I mean, this is so easy to do. I cannot. And they turn out so pretty. I promise they are not as hard as they look. So that's the first block. Here's the second block, and this is one of my favorites. It's a little like a featherweight. Love this. I did some embroidery on that one. So this is the quilt I was mentioning earlier that I want to put on this wall. This is it. So I've got a ways to go, but these go really fast too, because what I love about wool applique is that there's so many, it's not just one thing over and over and over again, like cross stitches, which don't get me wrong, I love, but this you can get creative with. You can use them, you can just do them just as the kit tells you, or you can dress them up a little bit. And you know, I think I'll put some beads on the top of these pins. There's still some things that I want to do to them. And then the pattern comes with the finishing kit and, you know, directions on how to sew the whole thing together. This quilt comes, each block is a kit. And I have all the blocks except for the finishing kit one. And then over the last 2 years, there are 2 other smaller quilts that I have been purchasing the block kits. Like I'll buy one a month or one every 2 months, more likely. And I'll show you those too, but so you can see how the kits come. But again, now I have a wool stash because I've been doing these kit blocks, and everything that I have that's left over, I just kind of shove in a big jar, a big cookie jar, and I have scraps that I can create my own, and I have done that. This is the third block. And these are just some big spools. And I put some French knots in. If you don't like French knots, put some beads on. And I use the variegated threads. Usually for these I use pearl cotton. So you can, DMC has it, Valdani has it. There are lots of different options. And these, I think these are called bullions. I had so much fun with that. They look so scary, but they're so easy. So that's block number 3. Sorry, I should be doing this faster. Here's block number 4. This is the S for sew. Little chick needs an eyeball. And there's some of the embroidery. Little spool. Little strawberry or tomato pin cushions. I love these. Look like little buttons. I seem to be missing a block, so I will have to find that. But this one is the one I'm working on. But I don't like it, so I don't like this. I'm gonna take it. It's not the right color. I tried a new stitch and I don't like it, so I'm gonna go back and take it out. So there's some strawberries, a little blackbird. Yeah. So I'm about, the W will be, once I finish this, will be half done. So it says, just says sew, and then it's got some other, it's got 6 other blocks, and I have all of those. So what I wanted to show you as far as the kits go, this is one of them that I bought, that I've been buying, and this is what the finished quilt will look like. It's just a little wall quilt. So this is a block of the month. This is block 1, and so it's autumn. So this is what you get. Everything's in there. And they're not cheap, but they're not, I mean, they're $25 for, oh, this says 32. Maybe it's 32. I thought they were 25. Maybe it's the quilt that's 25. But all that wool, you wouldn't be able to go buy that for $32. And all the instructions are in there. The background fabric is in there, the wool. And the instructions are so easy. And if you ever want some instructional information, go look at Stitch Roadies. Anna Bates, she does all kinds of wool applique, and that's where I started doing it, was watching her. So she does some step-by-step that's really great. So I would encourage you to check that out. And then the last one that I've been buying, and I think each one of these, I still have one to buy. But this one is called Farm Fresh Trees. And these are all by Buttermilk Basin. How cute is that? And I think Anna's done this one. So this is the tree farm sign. This is block number 1. And everything's here. Everything needed. The background fabric's in there. All of the wool. And this is all really good quality wool too. So yeah, those are what I have to work on. I have a lot of stuff to work on, but I love it. And I'm excited to work on it all. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Just leave them in the comments. If I don't answer, I may answer on my next Flosstube. I've been trying to answer everything, or, you know, leave a heart. I do read them all. I love them all. Everybody's just so wonderful. So yeah, please reach out if you have any questions. Prayers for Ukraine. Again, no words. No words. So please come back soon. Tell your friends about me. Please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And that's all I have for you tonight. So thank you again for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Bye, folks.